3, 2, 1.
We'd like to welcome you to another edition of Grok Talk, brought to you by New Hampshire's leading conservative blog site, GraniteGrok.com. We are your feared extremist, right-wing, hard-charging, gun-toting, opinionated, outspoken, rabble-rousing, letter-writing, radio microphone stomping conservatives and rational libertarians. So get ready for more news and opinion you could only get from GraniteGrok.com.
Grok Talk.
Welcome back. I faded too soon. Welcome back.
Indeed.
And don't forget, 20 minutes from now, Carrie Severino, Chief Counsel, Policy Director, Judicial Crisis Network, will be joining us to talk about Mr. Obama's Supreme Court nominee.
That would be a judicial crisis.
It would be, and that's probably why. I wanted to remind you about the Defend Freedom Tour, which is May 7th at the Expo Center in Radisson. Doors open at 4 p.m. The Defend Freedom Tour is a family-friendly and free-to-attend event featuring live patriotic music, lineup of inspirational speakers, and delicious taste of local fare. We had barbecue last time, so pork and ribs and all kinds of good stuff.
Ooh,
so
yummy.
It was a tasty thing, and it is entertaining. And they will ask you to give them your email address and stuff because they're giving you some food, so they'd like a little.
Is this the Concerned Veterans for America?
Concerned Veterans for America's
Yes.
Defend Freedom Tour event. They had one last year at the Durgan Pulling Arena. This one's in a hotel, so not as dirty.
They went.
You go so many places with
They
that.
went a little classier this year, huh?
Well, yeah, I don't know if it was a timing, space issue, or what the deal was. I mean, it was kind of cool at the Pulling Arena, but it'll be better in the Radisson.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
close. It's probably closer for
It's a
people.
lot closer for me, that's for sure.
Yeah. So something just came across my. Oh, let me make sure it's recent first. You always got to look because sometimes people post stuff and it's just.
Old.
Yeah. Oh no. Trump called for boycott of Megyn Kelly's show. You know, shut up. I don't watch it.
I don't either.
I don't watch TV. You know, once in a while I'll lay on the couch and I'll watch HGTV. And just totally veg. And then I want to buy things like table saws and, you know. My husband's like, why do you want a table saw? I'm like, because I can make stuff. And he's like, what? I'm like, I don't know. I can make stuff. But, so I don't watch TV, so I don't watch the show. But, you know, stop. And he's calling her sick and the most overrated person on TV.
He's the most
Yeah,
overrated
but you know
person in
what?
the election.
His supporters are eating it up.
I know they are, and that's the problem. What is wrong with people that they think this is okay? If Obama said this, people would lose their minds. You know that.
All the same people would, yeah.
Yeah, the same. Exactly. That's what I mean. The same people would lose their minds, and that's why I don't get it. I understand people are angry. I understand they want something different, but this guy has been feeding the establishment pigs for decades. He's right along and involved in that political class.
Well, my concern has been that, you know, we know a lot of people who are Trump supporters who, if any other candidate had his record, they would never support them.
No.
And I'm like, okay. So what's different? You know, why is it okay that he donated to Democrats, or he had liberal positions, or he supported liberal causes? Why is it okay for him, but not, say, Ted Cruz, for example, if he had that kind of history?
Yeah.
You'd be all over him. Any local candidate who was a Republican or a conservative who had stood up for those kinds of things in the past, 6 months ago, a year ago, even 5 years ago, even last century, you'd be like, I can't trust them. They're not reliable.
Exactly.
You know, so that, you know, it is the populism, and it is kind of dangerous. So you have to be careful.
Beyond dangerous, in my opinion. But these saying these kind of things. You know what I mean? Like, we would not find that acceptable if Obama said it. I know I wouldn't.
No, and most people wouldn't find it acceptable if any Republican said it.
Right.
You know, the Democrats certainly wouldn't find it acceptable if a Republican said it. And to be perfectly frank, the reason Megyn Kelly has the 9 o'clock slot isn't because she's good looking. It's because she's actually got a decently incisive manner with the people she has on the show. In fact, I find her better at it than Greta, for example. I know Greta's a lawyer, and it's
So's
good.
Megyn.
So's Megyn,
Yep.
exactly. And maybe it's more a case of the subject matter, but I find Kelly's choice of subject matter and her manner of interrogation to be
she's more hard hitting than Greta.
Pretty decent.
Will ease up. She won't go for the kill, whereas Kelly typically will.
Yeah,
from what I've seen.
And you look at these guys. I mean, several of the hosts on Fox have been very sympathetic to Trump. They ask him tough questions occasionally, but they've been pretty sympathetic. I think Hannity's had him on a little too often, for example, and O'Reilly. But I've noticed that lately they're really starting to pull Cruz in more often. And I thought that series of town halls they did just before Super Duper Tuesday was very good. Where they went on the road and they did town halls with each of the candidates.
I didn't see it.
That's where
I was traveling anyways.
That's where I got my piece where there was Hannity in Orlando with Cruz and Fiorina. That was really good. We managed to get it up before most people had seen it on Fox.
Nice.
For a couple of reasons. One, because I spotted it on an Orlando Sentinel page and credited them. And secondly, because the scheduled run of it at 10 p.m. last Friday evening didn't happen because it got trumped by the Trump riots, and it didn't run until like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. So most people didn't get to see it live. Right. So when we posted it, it had the most views of anything we've posted in a couple of months, precisely because we managed to get it up there. We had comments coming from Florida because we'd cleaned it up before the Sentinel did.
That's nice.
Yeah.
If only we could do that all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, we'd have to do actual news then. We'd actually have to have people on the ground doing stuff. And you know what? We have jobs. But if you'd like to donate and pay us to do that, we will go and do it.
And if you send us tips, we'll do our damnedest to pull it together and write some acid comments about it and post it up.
And don't be offended if we don't, because
we just don't have time.
We have jobs.
Yeah.
We have families.
Jobs
we have dogs.
Bulldogs.
We have stuff going on.
I have bulldogs.
You have bulldogs. Yes, you have bullies. And so, it's...
Did I just kick you that time?
Nope.
Okay.
You kicked the table leg.
Sorry.
We're not a paid gig. We don't have staff editors. We have to do the best we can with what we've got, and we appreciate those of you who understand that.
I love it when people send me stuff. But the thing is, we always research, right? It's not the writing that takes time. It's the research and verification and all that. So, I mean, I have people send me stuff all the time, and I can't do it. You know what I mean? Not everything. The balsams I did, but it didn't matter.
How's that going, by the way?
He wants Medicaid expansion. I'm like, why is who cares what a guy from Maine says? Oh, he also, I think, said he wanted the commuter rail. Who cares what Les Otten from Maine says?
He wants commuter rail to go all the way to the Balsams?
No. He just says he supports it or something.
He wants it to go to Nashville because then they'll at least have the bottom leg, and then they'll try to get it to Manchester, and then they'll try to get it to Concord, and it's not good for the environment, and it's not going to do anything for New Hampshire. It's just going to cost a lot of money and raise taxes, and businesses are going to hate it. And we know that because it's this narrow little thing in the middle of the state that goes up through a couple cities, and everybody else, anybody who wants to take the train, will have to drive to it. Anyway, so it's a stupid idea.
They can do that in Exeter right now.
And all it really does is give people down in Massachusetts who suck a free opportunity to come up into New Hampshire faster than they would otherwise to pollute our state with their presence.
Well, what I said is they said it's going to create jobs. I'm like, no, it's not. People from New Hampshire are going to take that train to Boston. Why would you come from Boston up to New Hampshire when you're going to get paid less? I mean, why? Yeah. And you can drive here. It's an easy drive.
And you can do it on your schedule, and you can do whatever you want.
So the only people that will come up here that jobs will be created are drug dealers. That will be an easy ride for them.
It's the heroin train. That's what we call it. We call it the heroin train.
Heroin train. That's what we should do. Yeah.
A crack in our economy?
A crack in our economy.
Oh, dear. I mean, the primary purpose of the commuter rail is for New Hampshireites to commute to jobs around Boston. Let's face it.
But they won't admit that.
No. So all you do is you increase the attractiveness of New Hampshire as a bedroom community filled with Marxachusetts refugees.
I was one, but I didn't use the commuter rail.
Who can't even escape mass taxes if they do that.
No, you pay almost everything.
No, they can't, but they can vote in New Hampshire to make it more like Massachusetts, which is what they've been doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already have an express bus that we're subsidizing. That goes to Southie, right? South Station?
I think so.
That goes to South Station. You could take Exeter Commuter Rail, which goes to North Station. So there you go. You're all set. But, they just want it because it's...
We got to have a train.
We got to have a train, yeah. We got to go...
Choo-choo.
We got to regress back to the, what century? When trains were actually useful for passenger rail?
1800s and
Yeah.
the early 1900s and early 2000s, yes. Until the invention of the car. And then everybody's like, screw the train. See, now, if they wanted to invest in freight rail, you make a lot of money on freight rail.
Freight rail's a different story.
Freight rail's awesome.
Private sector does that.
Correct.
So somebody said something, I said, if the private sector wants to do anything, have at. That's your problem. Don't take my money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because if commuter rail was profitable, we'd already have it.
We'd have it all over the country. And the reason we don't is because it's all taxpayer-funded
Subsidized.
boondoggles.
Yes.
I used to take the commuter rail when I lived in Ipswich and Gloucester.
Yeah.
I took the commuter rail all the time because it was just better. It worked out for me where I was had to go in Boston.
Yeah, I mean, you get off the train, you walk a block to work or whatever, maybe less, or whatever
I
it is.
used to have to walk 20 minutes, but
20 minutes.
that was better than taking the T.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I bet
The
it was.
the cattle mover, because that's what it's
Cattle
like in
mover,
the morning.
yeah.
Oh, it's horrifying.
I haven't been on the T in 10 or 15 years. Thank you very much.
It's in the
If I-
mornings during rush hour. It was horrifying because you were getting squished in, like you see how those videos in China where they.
Shove everybody in the train.
I would be like, "Go! I'll get the next one." Because that to me, that's if you're stuck in a room like that or stuck like that, you can't get out. It's not safe. So.
It's also icky.
Well, yeah, it's disgusting too. But so I used to walk 20 minutes, and they did, by the way, on the tunnel. The big joke. They did make lovely gardens on top.
They did, yes.
I used to bring my camera and take pictures.
Yeah.
So I got some use out of my tax dollars, right?
All right, couple minutes. We're going to bring Carrie Severino on. And then we'll close the show out after that with God knows what. I have no idea. You don't have to call her yet. You still got a minute. But I wanted to preface that because, we're kind of listing here a little bit. Don't forget to check us out on Spreaker, Stitcher, TuneIn, iTunes, and iHeartRadio. Check us out on YouTube in one or two different places, depending on what's going up that week. Ustream has our program up for a couple of weeks, at least the last couple of weeks worth of shows if you want to check out there. You can certainly join Spreaker, and you can get access to all the episodes. If you have a mobile device, and most people do, by all means, use that app. You can access the show. You might find it as the Steve McDonald Show, but you should be able to find it as Grok Talk. So this and hundreds of other hours of episodes previous to it are all available online for your listening enjoyment. And we encourage you to please do that because, hey, you might find something that totally offends you and then write us a nasty letter, and we're all about that.
Oh,
So
I love those.
Those are the best. Anyway, hey, this person doesn't like me. I'm doing something right. Anyway, we're going to talk about Supreme Court nominee Merrick Garland, and I'm going to try to mumble my way through the next couple seconds and then go to break, and we're going to give Carrie a call and take care of that. So stay tuned. This will probably be the most exciting segment since the last one, okay?
Rock Talk.